just don't know how excited fans are going to get to see Augsburg.
Right. No, I understand.
So no. That said, Liverpool should win this round. They should win this tie. I believe they will. I just hope they don't make it harder on themselves than it should be.
Right. All right.
We'll
So
put it that way.
that's your Europa League. These in the Champions League aren't going to come back until mid to late February. So we're going to kind of put the Champions League and Europa League on a shelf for a little bit. But don't worry, if you're a fan of tournament competition, the FA Cup and Capital One Cups will be right around the corner. So don't you worry
Praise
about
be
it.
to Allah.
Yeah, there you go. It's also this week is the FIFA Club World Cup. You know, that tournament that people play in. It was one of Real Madrid's trophies they won last year. Remember that one? Yeah.
Oh yeah, the year where I said Real Madrid could win 8 trophies,
Yeah. They won.
and they won two.
I think they won. I think they won too.
But they were
Um,
all kind of crappy.
yeah. So this is taking place in Japan right now. Um, you had one semifinal match today. That was Sanfrecce Hiroshima taking on the Argentinian side, River Plate. River Plate got a 1-0 win. It's the only match they've had to play so far in the tournament, and they're right into the final. On the other side, it's going to be tomorrow, or it might have already happened by the time you listen to this. Barcelona will be taking on
Yeah.
Guangzhou Evergrande out of China. Guangzhou Evergrande had a 2-1 win in the quarters over America. That is the club from Mexico. So I would imagine most likely it will be Barcelona versus River Plate in the finals. That will be December 20th in Yokohama, Japan.
That would be really interesting. Yeah, River Plate. That's right. Apparently, they don't say their names weird.
Nope.
I found that out watching enough ESPN FC. Um, Argentinian football is very good football,
Hmm.
and that's a really good team.
And kind of
Uh,
crazy.
and two, the thing is, I think everyone always expects the UEFA team to go in there and just dominate,
Hmm.
and that's not always the
Oh,
it's
no.
not always the
No,
case.
CONMEBOL teams have done well in this competition.
Yeah, somebody. I mean, obviously Barcelona's going to go in like, psh, I mean, there's nobody here who should be able to hang with us, so yeah, whatever. So they've just they better watch their backs. First against the Chinamen, who have learned to never turn your back on a Chinaman, Ed.
I, yeah, I did that.
They built the railroads. They can snag your wallet. I have no proof of any of that, but still,
No, you
other than the railroad part.
You really, really, really don't. So that's going to take us now into our news and notes. Before we do, we want to remind you that in case you're just joining us, and I don't know why you would be, this is episode 85 of A Foreign Fair podcast. I'm Edward Green. That's Wes Bradshaw. We're on NGSC Sports and NGSCSports.com, where we never stop. And what else doesn't stop is this incredibly weird sex tape blackmail story involving Karim Benzema out of Real Madrid, which continued last week as Wes, he was suspended from the France national soccer team, and there's actually a little bit of question over whether he'll be able to play in Euro 2016. Right now, again, his involvement in this blackmail plot of his teammate Matthew Valbuena is still alleged. He has not actually been charged and convicted of the crime yet, but France has already currently suspended him. What are your thoughts on France taking a very proactive measure against him?
Of course, the French are never prone to attack.
Mm,
So we'll give them some credit on that. I mean, I
mm,
think they've done the right thing, if for no other reason, because stuff going on like that. If it's true, if it's not true, whatever. At this point, it's in the media that Benzema did something and did something really shady,
mhm,
and that he did it to his own teammate.
mhm.
So, I mean, to me, he's lost the trust factor of his teammates. And in a big team sport like football, especially here in world football, where it's not like it's Chelsea and Diego Costa can do whatever the hell he wants because he's the only legitimate striker that you have.
Right.
I mean, this is France. You've got plenty of really good players. Benzema's been very good for you, but it's not like Benzema has completely carried you through anything.
Mm-hmm.
So for France, I think it was somewhat of a no-brainer, just because right now, who the hell can trust him?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean,
And
that's
if you can't trust him off the field, that's obviously that something like that is going to carry over onto the field.
oh certainly. I mean, he did this to one of his own teammates. I mean, you can't do that. I mean, that shows a complete lack of just moral decency.
And don't get me wrong, Ed. You know me; I'm always down for a good rib.
Yes.
I mean, pulling the rib, that's not a problem. You wanna give him a little hot shoe with the pack of matches. Okay, that's funny. You want to put some icy hot in his jock strap. Cruel. But okay, whatever. We're playing around. You want to, you put powder in his hair dryer. You've blackmailed him with a sex tape.
Yeah, it's not good.
I mean, his ass should. He may end up in prison for this before it's said and done.
Legitimately, I mean, there are going to be probably actual charges.
I mean, that is about as serious as it can get. So, listen, I'm all for a good rib, but cutting his shoelaces or something before he's supposed to go out to practice, that's one thing. This is like serious, you're a fucking bad human being stuff.
Yeah, it's really really disturbing. So we'll have to see how this eventually plays out, and it looks like it is going to go to court. So we'll see what happens to Benzema. Of course, he's also in a similar position with Real Madrid in terms of his, to make up a word, superfluity. Sure, because he is superfluous. Anyway, he might get dropped from Real Madrid soon. Who knows? We'll talk a little bit more about Real Madrid. That was not bad. Yaya Toure was named the 2015 BBC African Footballer of the Year. This comes about 5 days ago out of the BBC. This was from BBC Africa. Others that were on the shortlist include Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Yassine Brahimi, Sadio Mane, and Andre Ayew. Wes, I don't know that maybe the others deserve it more than him, because, I mean, especially the top two, Emerick Aubameyang and Brahimi, I didn't really watch them play very much. I do know there was multiple times on this podcast throughout 2015 where we called into question whether Yaya Toure really cared about playing football. And I'm a little bit surprised that he ended up winning the award this year.
You mentioned Aubameyang. He's been fantastic. I mean, I think literally every team in England right now would love to have Aubameyang playing his trade at Borussia Dortmund.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really excelled last season under Jurgen Klopp and has just really taken it to another level this season for the Dortmunders. Now, there is also an idea out there that African Football Federation could be a wee bit corrupt.
What? I don't believe you.
I know. Calm yourself. I mean, and I'm not saying it is, but I also wonder too if there may have been some politics in that. Because don't get me wrong, Yaya Toure may be the best African footballer of the last decade.
Mm-hmm.
Drogba may differ, but I think those between him and Drogba, I believe over the last decade, they're the two best African players that have come out of the continent.
No love for Samuel Eto'o.
All right, throw him in there too. So we'll call those three. But you know what? This past year, Yaya was much more on par with Eto'o and Drogba in the way they've played over the last year.
Yes.
That's not good. So, I mean, I don't know, maybe if he won it as a popularity contest, maybe, they just weren't ready to give it to the young upstart Aubameyang or Ayew or Sadio Mane. And, maybe it was almost all right, we're going to give you one more on your way out the door.
Yeah.
So, because if he wins it again,
Oof.
I have no clue on this earth how you come up with him winning it again.
Yeah, we would definitely need to see a huge change in his performance to see that happening again. A lot of managerial news to get through now. We'll go through this kind of quickly. Swansea still sort of looking for a more permanent member. They are currently interviewing candidates. One of them possibly Marcelo Bielsa out of Argentina. And he's been the former Argentina and Chile coach. He's one who has really put his name in that the ring for that job. A couple names that may be recognizable to you guys out there: David Moyes and Brendan Rodgers. Both of them not seemingly interested in the Swansea position. Not totally sure how much interest Swansea had in them either. But that's what the stand is right now for Swansea, who are still looking for an official manager to replace suddenly sacked Gary Monk. And Wes, I actually think that happened after you left.
God, Ed, you just broke news to me. Gary Monk got fired.
Oh my God, did you not know?
No, I did not know that. As you said, that obviously happened while I was on the boat. By the time I got back, I ain't worried about Swansea for 2 seconds.
Oh, yes. Well, Gary Monk's been fired.
I've not heard. Well, thanks a lot for telling me. I had not heard that.
Sorry.
All right. See, folks, you got to tune in each and every week to find out something new.
Yes.
Even the hosts.
There's somebody who listened to last week's podcast.
Yeah, I downloaded it on the way home, but you don't want to hear about my trip home. So.
Oh, I really don't. It's fine.
Let's just throw one thing out there. Woodbine, Georgia, your sheriff's department can kiss my ass.
Nice.
And if I can remember that lieutenant's name, I would say it right now.
Oh, we're fine. It's fine. Some other news, at least in the Premier League. We talked about Jose Mourinho earlier. Potentially, will he not finish the season? A name that is coming up at that position is Juan de Ramos, the man who has formerly been at Tottenham and was once his latest stop was at Dnipropetrovsk, the Ukrainian side, in 2014. Looks like he may be on tap to come back. He won 10 of his 36 Premier League games in charge of Tottenham. Yay!
Man, sure you're ruining that you missed those times, huh?
He won us a League Cup though, so there's that.
Congratulations.
He also
probably was your last silverware.
Yes. He was also the coach at Sevilla when he led them to back-to-back UEFA Cup wins in 2006 and 2007, as well as winning the Copa del Rey and Spanish Super Cup in 2007. So
he won the treble.
Yeah. I don't. It just seems like such a step down, Wes.
Oh, it is a massive step down. But I mean, that's always been one of my arguments for why they're not going to fire Mourinho. Mm-hmm. Is who the hell are you going to get is better? Yeah. Klopp ain't leaving Liverpool.
No.
I don't think they're in the Pep Guardiola sweepstakes. Mm-hmm. Which, by God, would there be anything worse that could ever happen to Jose Mourinho than for Guardiola to basically take his job?
There's been a little talk of that. Wow.
Rafa Benitez may be available soon, but no, he's already been to Chelsea once. Never mind.
We're gonna get to that in a minute.
Of course, with Mourinho, that shows that it that doesn't really matter if you've been there before or not. Hey, Claudio Ranieri's having a hell of a bounce back season.
Yes,
he's failed at Chelsea before.
Don't call it a comeback. Ranieri never left. Oh my God. So yeah, that's what's happening over there. As you mentioned, Wes, Rafa Benitez may be done in a matter of moments because news always breaks on Thursday morning. So and it may be Zinedine Zidane, the great French footballer who we of course last saw in professional football.
He's actually Algerian.
Headbutting Head